Hello, Daisy Cakes. This is Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective who investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I get into drag to film a video later today. And Lynette is here. Yay. If you are here, please say hello. And my question is, as always, how is your reading going? I am reading Voyage of the Space Beagle. Oh, by the way, I ordered this mostly for nostalgia. Barlow's Guide to Extraterrestrials. This is hardcover. I think the copy I had back in the 70s was soft cover, but it was like this size because all this is illustrations of different famous science fiction creatures, including the puppeteers. Too much glare. And it had a couple other creatures that I liked. But anyway, there were a lot of creatures I didn't know, one of which the Ixtal, which is why I believe I read Voyage of the Space Beagle back in the 70s, just because I found like a couple of science fiction books just by this Barlow's Guide. I honestly, as I'm rereading it now, I don't remember any of it. It's kind of like a whole new book, but it is a picked up novel. So it's a compilation of, I think, 4 short stories and by A. Van Vogt. And it's kind of interesting because it's seamlessly put together. So it's not like the Martian Chronicles or Foundation, where the stories are separated by time and characters, and there's like these big divisions. Everything's aboard this spaceship called the Space Beagle, and the stories sort of flow from one to the other, but it's not like one big story arc. It's like the Space Beagle meets different aliens along its journey to scientifically explore the galaxy. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I have a dictionary of imaginary places. It's kind of interesting because he like, oh, forward by the brothers Hildebrand. I never saw that. Like this is Dune's Guild Spaceman. And I never imagined this when I read the book Dune, but then that's how I sort of had to reimagine it, because I think he drew these, from the descriptions, and then of course David Lynch's Dune came out and did something totally different. What's another good one? Jack Vance's Deirdre. What's the one? Yeah, the Daemu. I definitely picked up the Daemu trilogy from FM Busby because of this picture. And the Daemu are supposed to be more, they were described as kind of lobster-like. So I really like this interpretation because it's a little bit more alien. If you don't know the story of the Daemu trilogy, I got it as a omnibus. The first book to Cage Man, I think. Anyway, the premise is this alien species are these hyper-religious missionaries, pretty much, and they're more advanced than most races. So they go through the galaxy proselytizing their religion. One of the precepts of which is that the Daemu were made in the image of God. So when they find another sentient race, they try to surgically alter them to look like the Daemu. And they have exoskeletons, and man, of course, doesn't have exoskeletons. I think this was before like genetic engineering was a big thing when this was written. So it was all sort of cosmetically, surgically altering humans to make them look like the Daemon. I love the premise, and Ace Mormons, yes. Got home from a walk. Gorgeous day here. Congratulations. Uh, good to walk. Don't worry about being late. Don't ever worry about being late. Um, let's see. I'm checking the temperature here is 103. So that's what it is in Vegas. I actually went for a walk yesterday, and I always wear like the hat and the long sleeves and all that. Um, but it was overcast. So I didn't wear my dark glasses. And I was like, I walked about 2 miles and I was like, God, it's hot, but it's overcast. Maybe it's because there isn't much of a wind. I looked at the temperature, it was 107. Overcast. The number one crown. Yes, post away. Okay. So if you don't notice, I have these little strings here. And I've never done this before, but I've seen other drag queens do it. These are face tapes, so you pull them. But I'm kind of afraid you're going to be able to see them because I can see. You probably can't see them on this camera, but hopefully they'll disappear. I shouldn't have played with it earlier because I wanted to see how they worked because they lifted a little bit. But anyway, if you see my Instagram, all those little video clips, they're filtered, you know, to the heavens because I have no I have no illusions about wanting about disguising my how I look. So about 42 degrees Fahrenheit. Yipes. Notice the face tape. You don't need it. Well, it's so funny because I say I see drag queens doing it, and of course, I think RuPaul is famously uses face tape, but it's not just older queens. It's like young 20-year-olds use face tape, and they use it a lot. Not so much here, but like around the eye areas to give sort of the cat eye look. But they're like in their 20s and they're using face tape. So just another tool to play around with. Okay, anyway. So I was thinking about doing the Hugo Awards today. And so I was thinking about sort of a silvery gray look. And I should have done darker eyebrows. I may do brown. I'm second guessing myself. I started this thinking I was going to do silvery gray. Let's just do it. Let's just try it out. Um, I can't use my normal palettes. Okay, I can. I'm just going to use the top row of this. Okay, as if you guys follow my makeup. So speaking of the Voyage of the Space Beagle, it's reminding me how much I really love in science fiction different alien races. because basically each story they meet a different alien race that's usually pretty hostile to them. And like I said, the it's sort of a seamless story, so it's definitely reading as one story, but it's kind of episodic because they meet one alien race, they go through that, then they meet another one, so it's almost like a Star Trek episode, or not one episode. It's sort of like watching four Star Trek episodes back to back because I believe there's it's a fix up of four different of his short stories. Notice the dangly bits at the back, but not the actual tape on the face. Yeah, I think because this isn't high resolution that you're seeing, so I because it comes down here. We'll see. I think it's kind of interesting that it basically does what plastic surgery does, just lifting the skin. Although this is temporary. '70, nice, sunny and breezy. Yeah, I have a hard time with Celsius. I read a children's fantasy, Starfell, Willow, Moss, and the Lost Day 4 to 5, first in a series of 4 books. Ooh, I'm going to look that one up. 18 Celsius. Getting my neck done for my birthday. Oh, fun. There's a there's this woman that got big on TikTok for um she had a facelift and she was like going to document it on TikTok as you do. But anyway, I think she's like 55, mid to late 50s. And before she had the facelift, and she lost a lot of weight twice. So, there's like loose skin, all that type of thing. And her first video was like, I don't want to look like I'm in my 20s. I just want to freshen up my face. I just want to look like I got a good night's sleep. And so she booked a plastic surgery in Mexico. And and as she's posting her TikTok videos, she looks like she's in her 20s. It's pretty wild. Let me see if I can find it. It's pretty wild because, and it was like a inexpensive facelift, inexpensive compared to the United States. So, I don't know, 15K or something. And Okay. Her name is Michelle Wood. So you can Google that. Michelle Wood. Um, okay. Anyway. But now, of course, everyone wants her facelift because it doesn't look really unnatural. I mean, I assume once everything heals that it'll look kind of natural. Okay. God, can you even see this? This is gray. Hey, DK, thank you for joining us. Getting old sucks, but it beats the alternative. Better old than cold. Or even simpler double and add 30 is close enough. Oh, to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. I also read Death on the Derwent, which is about a well-known murder case in my city. Even mentions a street I lived on as a child. Wow. Yeah, if I had disposable income, maybe I'd do something cosmetic. But I mean, honestly, I think how you look when you're old is 10% diet and exercise and 90% genetics. Um, but I would much rather, I mean, the how you look getting old is sort of should be the least of your worries. I mean, if there was a fix for like a bad back, my back's always sore, or there's so many internal things that you go through no matter how you look. Um, you even see that? Yeah. Murder case without a body, no weapon, no witnesses, no real motive. Couldn't Are they sure it's a murder? Could it, if there's no body and nothing else, maybe the person just wanted to disappear, just living in Mexico under a fake name. Death of Derwin. Huh. It's curious. I lost over 100 pounds in 3-ish years, and my neck looks like I am 90, no lie. Oh dear. My neck is the same after weight loss. That's the other thing about elasticity of your skin during weight loss. It's just a lot of it's genetic, just sort of a crapshoot. Oops. Some people have a lot of loose skin, some people don't. Some of it has to do with age or how quickly you lose weight. These are definitely not even. Oh, well. Is there any way I can fix this? It's a little better. After dancing the night, mostly feel it in my back, only aches in the hours after dancing, fine by the next day. Nice. He disappeared off a yacht, no dinghy, as his wife had used it to go home. So it had been hard for him to get anywhere. She was convicted. Kind of reminds me of Natalie Wood's murder, or alleged. I shouldn't even say that. It's considered an accident, but a lot of people think she was. But they had her body. I mean, it wasn't. SDK sounds very fit. Totally unfit despite my weight loss. Working on that now. Fit, but also only 59. I know the worst is coming. So we're about the same age, DK. Yeah, there's that new study that there's certain ages when you hit where your aging really accelerates. And the two ages they've pinpointed is 44 and 60. So for those of us just turning 60, we have a lot to look forward to. But I do remember, like in my mid 40s, um, I didn't realize how slow my metabolism had gotten. And it was maybe I noticed it around 45, 46, where I suddenly just gained a lot. I mean, I very, very gradually started gaining weight in my 40s. Um, but it was so gradual that I didn't realize it was happening until one day my pants didn't fit. I'm listening to Medicus, Murder Mystery set in Rome and Britain. 67, I'm growing old with grace. Very good, Lynette. I gained weight in my 30s after giving up smoking. Yeah, that's because smoking is a stimulant. So it affects your metabolism. I've always looked much younger than I was until the past few years. It was a bit depressing. If you keep up with your dancing and other exercise and movement, you will be fine in the coming years. Yeah, I should go out dancing more. I feel self-conscious because I haven't found a place where there's any um, proportion of attendees who are my age. Well, just go forward. You look old when people give their seat up for you on the bus. That happened to a coworker of mine. She was a librarian at the time at a law firm, law librarian. And she was immigrant from England, but I think she was in her 50s. But someone gave up their seat for her, and she goes, "I must look like I'm bloody old." She was so insulted, but she took the seat. Uh, okay, I can't beat aging, but I'm giving it a fight. There you go, DK. Dance aerobics. Yeah, I actually have scoliosis, curvature of the spine, and I remember when they told me that when I was in middle school. I think they're like, "Oh, it's not that bad. You won't feel it until like you're in you're middle aged." And when you're in middle school, the idea of being 40 just seems like seems like forever. But of course, guess what? In my 40s, I suffer from a lot of low back pain. Which I feel a lot if I when I go walking and, dancing or okay. 40 seems like an impossible time to come when you're young, but it gets there. I like the gray. Yay, my favorite color, non-color. Okay, so what I want to do is just do the silver on the eyelids, the cut crease. I have rheumatoid arthritis, so some exercises are very difficult for me to perform. No, I'm sorry to hear that. I had to go to a rheumatologist after back in December. I had Guillain-Barré, which is your immune system sort of turning on you. Only in Guillain-Barré, it attacks your nerves, but in rheumatoid arthritis, it attacks. Well, you would know, Lori, the things in your joints, the cartilage. But so they wanted to make sure that that's my immune system wasn't doing that. But I have osteoarthritis, but I developed that in my 30s, early 30s. Wow. I mean, that's a bad thing about getting old is your body sort of betraying you. I was talking to my friend James the other day, and of course, our conversation turned to health, and we were like, "Oh my God, we're so old." We're just talking about health ailments, you know, among ourselves and our friends. I know you can't see it on camera, but this is very sparkly silver. Watch the 4 episodes of Wednesday. Yay. Yeah, I'm curious what you think of it. I believe this year is also going to be the last season of Stranger Things, which I'm excited about. Although the last season wasn't my favorite, but I like the 80s nostalgic quiche. Yay, Lynette, enjoyed it. I watched the first season with my late partner, and I feel kind of sad about watching the new one without him. Oh, that's heartbreaking. I think I enjoyed the first season more, but I don't think. I mean, I enjoyed the first season more, but there's aspects of this season I'm appreciating, especially where there is more about the Addams family, the other characters in the Addams family. Well, that the Pylori Prize for LGBT fiction was canceled this year. Huh. Did not know about that. Miss the 80s, such great dance music and dance clubs. See, that's I don't understand. I agree. Well, I don't. Being a gay man in the 80s wasn't great, but um, I loved going to clubs and dancing because the music was that you would hear on the radio is what played in the clubs. And nowadays you go and they have these DJs and techno dance music, and it feels to me like it's for people that can't find a beat because the beat is so boom, boom. It's weird to me. But yeah, in the 80s, you'd go to a club and you'd hear Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, the Eurythmics, Blondie. This is all the pop culture. You could go to like places with mosh pits and the Ramones and harder. But they're the songs that you would buy will be the songs that would be playing. Yeah, I was talking to another friend who's younger. By younger, I mean in his 30s. Uh, but he's like, "Oh, I can't believe you would want to dance to the actual music," because he grew up with the DJs, the so-called house music. Okay, anyway, yeah, it wasn't the best time for being gay. We won't go there. John Boyd, who was transphobic and a friend of J.K. Rowling, was nominated, so other authors withdrew their books. Hmm. I liked goth music in the 80s. Emo looks similar, but the music is for peeps that can't dance. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. So like I guess you like the Dead Can Dance and New Order. What's the name of that band where the lead singer died and they had to rename the band New Order? Remember, I had a friend in the dorms who was really affected by that. They were called something else. I want to say that had to do with like a the concentration camps. I've been dancing for about 30 years. I'll be going to emo dance tonight. I will show them how to dance. Yay! We emos choose not to dance. Okay. New Order had good dance songs. Were they called something else? I'm going to look this up. It's really bothering me. New Order, man. Joy Division. Yeah. The band I was thinking of was Joy Division. It became New Order. Was it got emo movement in the 80s? Because as I'm thinking back, I'm thinking more sort of the punk new order, the punk new wave sort of transitioned at some point into goth. That's why when I see the term, oops, when I see the term punk used, I have very specific memories of the punk movement and friends in the punk movement. And it was like very visceral and raw. Like taking one of those huge safety pins and punching it through your cheek. That was like um the piercing that was to me punk. And that's sort of the brutalist type of imagery I kind of got from like Neuromancer and the early cyberpunk. And I had a friend who had a chain um, and locked it with a lock and threw away the key. Okay. Blue Monday was a song that I really liked. The music I danced to, and Privacy is anything by the Who, Mongolian folk metal. Yeah, you should look at that one up, DK. Okay. They provide some of the music on Star Wars games. Don't usually like metal for dance. I thought it was really cool about Ozzy Osbourne having like one last concert and just, I don't know, cool is the word, but he died like not long after he made his final appearance. And he looked like, if you saw any of the pictures, like he was having such a good time. Like he was waiting just for the one last hurrah. but I was never into his music, that type of music. I really liked pop in the '80s, but I was also kinda drawn into the Grateful Dead, subculture. Okay. It's called Kuna Rock. Ozzy was such a great performer, it was in his bones, yeah. I definitely want never got into the Grateful Dead, just never had friends into the Dead, so never listened to them much. Yeah, it was definitely for me, it was definitely, a big social thing, uh, that I was introduced into them through friends, and there definitely was sort of that, um, hippie type subculture that was just the Dead was kind of the last remnants of that from the, '60s, '70s. I'm so old, I saw AC/DC when Bon Scott was the lead singer. That's so cool. Okay, this feels more like a Halloween look than an award ceremony look, but oh well. Use So it's just sparkling glitter gel. Saw them perform my city the day before my 18th birthday. Wow. Someone made an hour-long video on YouTube of Careless Whisper by Wham. Love listening to that. Oh, Wham. Okay, I'm just going to go to the lips. Oh, I'm thinking about doing a little short video outside of my normal video um, releases or drops about the Audible situation with authors. Um, and if you don't know what that is, uh, Daniel Green's videos sometimes come in my feed. I don't often look at them. Well, once in a while, I'll look at them if they're like news, but I don't really agree with them. I'll found on his actual book recommendations. But anyway, he had this video about something about wrong with Audible, and I didn't watch it because I'm like, I don't really listen to, as much as I've tried, I don't really listen to audiobooks, so it doesn't affect me. But then he had like a subsequent video about how Audible is screwing Brandon Sanderson. I was like, okay, what's going on with this? So apparently, Audible has this um, new policy or this new scheme where they have this free, you can join Audible Plus or whatever, and you can listen to as many of their free selections as you want, but you won't buy them. You know, it'll disappear from your catalog. Um, and the way this is so complicated. I mean, it's now that I'm trying to articulate it, it sounds more complicated. But anyway, for those who are not in this program or that has this program, and you buy a book for credits, like what is it? A credit for a new release that you're interested in, that money does not necessarily go to that author. Part of their royalties are being siphoned into subsidizing the free books. So it just sounds real sketchy. And for me, as someone who has for decades been advocating buying new books to patron authors that you like, because old, used books, the author doesn't get anything. It just seems really crappy to me. I think I forget her name. She's the wife of um, something Sullivan, but she's being a big advocate and has like um, has a poll, not a poll. Oh, what do you call it? My mind's blanking. Petition um, that a lot of people are signing. But anyway, Daniel Green was asking other YouTubers or booktubers to help spread the word. And I'm like, well, maybe I should. I mean, it's not like I have the numbers like he does, but I really don't understand publishing or movies or anything that distributes works from creative people, why they're always trying to screw the creative people out, especially writers, because without their product, they wouldn't have anything. Oh, Bond died a few days before my 22nd birthday. Wow. Oh, Dungeon Crawler Carl. Yeah, I know Lynette said it's probably not for her, but I maybe read a sample chapter or listen to a sample chapter. Only get one Audible credit every 2 months. See, I've tried Audible twice, and each time I've canceled because I just wasn't using the credits. Listened to many audiobooks during my surgery recovery, mostly nonfiction or historical fiction. Prefer reading with my eyes. Listen to Ben Bova's books using Audible Plus. Yeah, it's the Audible Plus. Sounds like to me, if you listen to lots of books, they divide up the amount you pay. Sounds like you pay little, authors get little. Well, I think the main thing is if I am using my credits to purchase a book from Ben Bova, I own that book. It's like me purchasing the book. So why shouldn't he get the 40% or whatever royalty rate he should be getting? Why should that money, since I am buying that book to own, be used to subsidize anything I've listened to on Plus? If that makes sense. Prefer using Kobo and Zigzag rather than Audible. Yeah, there are other audio companies that treat their authors much better. My fingers only pain me once in a while. The thing I dislike about Audible is that they are using virtual voice. I don't have Audible Plus anymore. Yeah. For a while there, I really got into the old radio, Doctor Who radio plays. But I got them free for my library. Now, when I listen to things, it's mostly podcasts about writing. I'm keeping Audible mainly for Audible only books like Dennis E. Taylor's books. Oh, thank you, Lori. I think it's called Immortal. Oops. Okay. Okay, I'm hoping actually, I need to touch up with eyeliner. Okay. Let's see, listen to podcasts and music. Mooney is here. Hey, thank you for coming, Mooney. Oh, don't worry about it, Mooney. I know things in your part of the world are crazy, so you take care. Just got my first smartphone a month ago. Flip phone didn't do much audio stuff. Oh my goodness, DK. I thought I was bad. I forget when I got my first smartphone, but it felt like it was uh, long after everyone else. All right, I'm just doing much better. I recommend a book called Full Moon Coffee Shop. I only own an old phone. I rarely use it. I still have a landline. Yeah, I got rid of our when we moved to Vegas, no landline. Do we have one in Oakland? I mean, it was to the point where we were never using it. So, I mean, I get having a landline for emergencies, but if you don't use it, yeah, I think I have. Do I have it? I have a iPhone 8, which is considered out of date because I know some apps won't even load on it anymore. But I don't like cell mobile phones because I don't like people contacting me when I'm out. You're old. And Trepsisert? Yeah, I'm so sorry. Is that your cat? I don't know if you know, but Angel, my cat, passed away, and really hard because your lives become so intertwined with your pets. Thank you, Mooney. Older sister told me she's pregnant. Oh, congratulations. Plus, cats aren't really cats. Okay, so this is the. Oh, okay, let's see how this face tape works. Oh, there it goes. Is there any difference? There must be. Read it a couple months ago. Next month, there is a readathon called Shorty September, where you read short books. There's so many short books out in Shorty September. It's really not uncomfortable. I thought it would. I mean, I don't even feel it back here. I just feel it a little tightness right here. Okay. I did grab. I'm just paranoid that's gonna. Did grab my black wig or brunette wig. Oh, should have put on the necklace first. Oh no, this did it. This flipped up. Oh crap. I'm making a mess. This is like I have white stuff on my hand. Okay. I'm just going to go fast because I need to clean up some stuff. If you like spooky fantasy, T. Kingfisher's um, novels about or novelettes about the fall of the House of Usher are really good, and they're definitely short. I think she has like a lot of short fun fiction. Okay. But like I said, today I was thinking about doing the Nebula, the Hugo nominees, just because I think it's fun to see who's won. There was another controversy on the Hugo Awards. I need to look that up because one or two authors dropped out in protest. And I tried to look it up, and it seemed like it was over AI because the Hugo Committee was using AI. But to me, it sounded like they were just using it for um, organizational purposes, not like didn't seem bad to me, but obviously some authors, um, anything having to do with AI is considered bad. So I don't know. I have to look at that into that a little bit. I like an excuse to read more novellas. Oh, um, Lynette, you're the only one I know who I think it was you who read the Hugo winning novella Tusks of Extinction. I recommend the audiobook. Okay, guys. Lingen. Okay, guys. Yes, for the Hugos this year. This is the final look. I may have to play with the face tape. I definitely have to fix this whiteout I got in my hair. Not whiteout, the um, white eye primer. Um, and yeah, this is the final look. Okay. Yes, Lynette did like Tusks of Extinction. Um, and this face tape is lifting up. Okay. Um, I should be back next week. And as always, may all the books you read be blessed.